Meghan Markle's Archetypes podcast. Is it her authentic voice finally breaking free, or a perfectly calculated PR move? Beyond the glossy microphones and celebrity guests lies a bigger question. Is Meghan telling her truth, or playing a role in a larger strategy? The answer may not only redefine how you see her, it may reveal how modern power itself really works. When Archetypes launched on Spotify in 2022, it arrived with a seismic buzz. It wasn't just another celebrity podcast. It was a royal-adjacent figure stepping into a format typically reserved for comedians, journalists, and self-help gurus. Meghan framed her mission clearly: to dismantle the labels that confine women. Words like diva, bimbo, hysterical, ambitious. She positioned herself not as a duchess, but as a cultural investigator, interviewing figures like Serena Williams, Mariah Carey, and Paris Hilton. The media frenzy was instant. Headlines declared it Meghan's big return. Fans celebrated her new platform. Critics dismissed it as self-indulgent. But beneath the noise was something unprecedented. Never before had someone so close to the monarchy used such a modern medium to reframe their public identity.
The response revealed less about the podcast and more about the people listening. For her fans, Archetypes was liberation. Proof that Meghan had escaped the gilded cage, finally free to speak without royal filters. Every anecdote was heard as courage, every sigh as authenticity. For her critics, the very same podcast confirmed the opposite: proof of vanity, manipulation, endless hunger for validation. Every carefully edited pause was seen as a performance. Why such polarization? Confirmation bias. Once you decide who Meghan is, victim, heroine, opportunist, manipulator, every new detail becomes evidence for your case. Admirers heard bravery, detractors heard narcissism. The same soundbite, two completely different truths. And Archetypes didn't exist in a vacuum. Perceptions of it were inseparable from the Sussex brand. For supporters, it was a manifesto of independence. For skeptics, it was another cash-in. In reality, it was both mirror and amplifier, reflecting back whatever the public already believed about Meghan and Harry. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The very title, Archetypes, promised something Jungian, something universal and profound. Yet Meghan's use of the word was very different from Carl Jung's. For Jung, archetypes are primordial forces: the hero, the mother, the trickster, the shadow. They live in the collective unconscious and shape every myth, dream, and story. For Meghan, archetypes meant social labels: diva, crazy, bimbo. Important to challenge, yes, but closer to stereotypes than archetypes. Still, there's an irony here. Those very stereotypes do echo Jung's archetypes. The diva is a distorted shadow queen. The bimbo echoes the innocent maiden. The crazy woman mirrors the archetype of the witch or wild woman. Whether intentionally or not, Meghan tapped into archetypal energy, but filtered through the language of PR and social critique. Beyond archetypes, legacy and future impact. So what's the legacy of Archetypes? For fans, it cemented Meghan as a cultural commentator, a voice against outdated labels. For critics, it confirmed their worst suspicions of strategy disguised as sincerity. In truth, its impact was less about resolving her identity and more about polarizing it. As a case study, it reveals much about modern celebrity communication. In the age of podcasts and platforms, authenticity can be manufactured as carefully as a brand campaign. Vulnerability can be monetized. Truth can be packaged as content. But this is the paradox of fame today. The more a public figure insists on their authenticity, the more it feels like performance. Meghan's voice aimed for raw honesty, but it felt controlled. In that sense, Archetypes didn't just tell us about Meghan. It told us, about our hunger for authenticity and our equal suspicion of it, about how celebrity now lives in a space where sincerity and strategy are indistinguishable. So maybe the real question isn't whether Archetypes was genuine or calculated. The real question is, in a world where every microphone is also a marketplace, Does authenticity even exist anymore?